Hey everybody, I'm Tanner Johnson. I'm going to cover the Orange Project book that I was assigned for this semester-long project and cover the near misses and classifications to go with it. I put safety as our value for our airport model because I feel like when you value safety, those values remain constant. They're not subjected to change. And when safety is made a priority, priorities can change moment to moment and even second to second. And so when you value safety, those extra tasks and projects and everything being worked on can be done safe when you value safety and not prioritize it. So my incident count for the day of the week, Monday was my leading day for near miss reportings. Um, Maybe management's coming back on site, pushing near miss reportings, and maybe that's why Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are leading days for near miss reportings. Incident count by type, mobile equipment and ergonomics was our two most leading ones. Why I think mobile equipment is up there is I think it's a lot to do with lack of training. When you either get new hires coming in or projects being thrown on employees, sometimes they can just throw them into a task or a piece of equipment and they're not properly trained for it. A lot of our incidents going through the near misses were employees on cell phones are not paying attention while operating mobile equipment. So I think with a little further training and going through the task training processes and checking mobile equipment pre-op inspections, I think we can limit these near miss reportings, especially with mobile equipment. And ergonomics, one of the main ones was office workers would get hand cramps or irritations by typing for long periods of time. Just taking appropriate breaks and kind of being smart about it could limit those near miss reportings dramatically. Time of the day, you can see about 9 o'clock in the morning is our greatest peak. Um, I think what you could jot some of that down to is you have day shift crews coming in or have not been on site for that long, and maybe they're not focused, they don't have their mind on task. And then you got your valleys, like noon and later in the night. Um, at noon, you got lunchtime going on, maybe not as much going, project wise or task being completed. You got more people on lunch breaks. And then you have like 2 o'clock in the morning and there right before midnight, your later parts of the day. Maybe just less projects being thrown at those night shift guys, and maybe that leads to less near misses when you don't have as many tasks going on at night. Our incidents by month, so June and July and April were our leading ones. And with that being a warmer weather months, some of these were related back to heat related near misses. And so with November and December and January, I would have expected quarter 4 to have more near misses reported. I think there's a lot of distractions in quarter 4, such as holidays, even sporting events, and there's just a lot of distractions during those time frames. So I was shocked to see that November and December were our lowest ones. But June and July, there's also distractions there. You have more time in the day. There's daylight hours last a little longer. So maybe employees aren't focused on work. They're focused about what they're doing outside of work or what they're going to be doing on the weekends. And maybe that led to more near misses happening. So our incidents by group. So we had 73% non-group members reporting near misses. I think that's actually a really good thing to point out. Is showing that not just group members are the ones, looking out for safety, because I do think near misses are a good thing. I talk about the two worst things that could happen with near misses, and one of those is somebody knew, and the other thing is nobody knew. And what I mean by that is, by somebody knew, we'd be talking about an incident or an injury or something like that, and you'll have one guy in the room that talks about, or he'll mention, I knew that was going to happen. And so, well, why didn't he report it? And what I mean by nobody knew is we have an incident, we have an accident or a near miss, and that's not shared within the company. Other people aren't seeing that and can learn from that. So with these non-group members being the majority reporting these near misses, I think that's something that the company should be able to run off of, and I think that's a good thing. Through the data for our annual incident rate, you can see Q4 and Q1 are our highest incident rates, and we have less near misses reported during those time frames. So I think with the less amount of near misses reported led to more accidents happening. And so I think that just shows the benefit of these employees and everybody reporting near misses. So the months that we had, a high amount of near misses reported, like June and July, our incident rate was 0. So I think it just really keys in on the importance of reporting near misses, because our incident rate shows the months that had the least amount of near misses reported had the highest incident rates. So our incident breakdown by month, it's a lot the same with slide 6. So you can see with the months that had less near miss reportings, we had a higher rate of reportable injuries, and it just keys in again on the importance of reporting near misses. So our HIRA scoring, one thing I thought that was really interesting about the HIRA scoring was the mobile equipment use. So I have these in the series 1, 2, and 3. 3 being the most severe. In our mobile equipment use, I had those HIRA scorings for those near misses. We had 22 of them that ranked from 9 to 16, and so I think that would be a key type of incident to really key in on, and I think a lot of that goes back down to task training. And then ergo being our leading type, a lot of those were not as severe, but we had a large amount of them. And then like fire, all of those were severe in my opinion, or had the chance to be. And then exposure to temp, we had a heat related problems. We even had some cold ones. I just think this graph does show a lot of information, and it shows, I think this airport can benefit from a better system with task training employees on tasks like risk assessments or even just equipment tasks. So our top 5 near misses, ergonomic, mobile equipment use, fall, culture, and tool equipment use. So what I had for culture, and I may have been incorrect on this, so I'd be curious to see in the questions if I am or not. But so I had a list of near misses that involved like disgruntled passengers, and so whether they were swinging at somebody or throwing bags or even tossing cold water onto employees, I thought that was a culture issue. And so I could have been wrong looking back now, but that's how I had that categorized. And tool equipment use, I think that goes back into training these employees when they first come to work on the facility. how to properly use hand and power tools, because we had several near miss reportings with improper use of tools. Root cause analysis on mobile equipment use is the one I selected. So the problem area, the one I picked, was an employee was nearly run over by an operator in a piece of equipment, a baggage cart. And so I had the employee was in the walkway. He's in a normal walkway. Employee was traveling to his work area. The operator is traveling through a common walk path, so not just the employee in the walkway, but other people walk during this common path. Supervisor texts the equipment operator, and so that leads to the equipment operator to check his cell phone. So the equipment operator is on a cell phone, not paying attention to the task at hand, and it was a poor sense of communication, and resulted into a severe near miss where somebody was almost ran over. And so that'd be something to key in on the airport facility, is to communicate through radios and not through texting, especially equipment operators. Recordables, direct and indirect cost. We had 6 recordables: freezing, electric shock, puncture, multiple physical injuries, crushing, and sprain. Freezing, this recordable had a direct cost of $23,078, an indirect cost of $25,385. That totaled out to $48,463. And what occurred with the freezing recordable was an employee was checking the air-filled lights around the facility. The vehicle they were operating stopped working, and it went into water that had ice on it, and were exposed to extreme cold temperatures. The second one, electric shock. An employee was installing new sign at the airport entrance, touched 2 wires that resulted in a shock, and passed out and hit their head. That had a direct cost of $158,218, and indirect cost of $174,038, and a total of $332,257. The next one, the third one, puncture. What occurred with the puncture was an employee was mopping the airport terminal with the standard mop and bucket. The handle to the mop broke and punctured the employee in the calf. That injury had a direct cost of $27,804, an indirect cost of $30,584, and a total of $58,388. The fourth one, multiple physical injuries. This recordable, an employee was hooking carts together. The runaway cart collided with the carts that he was connecting and ended up pinning him in between it, and resulted in multiple injuries to that employee. That injury had a direct cost of $78,141, an indirect cost of $85,955, and a total of $164.96. The next one, crushing, the 5th recordable for the company. An employee was entering a vehicle with a handful of tools, and the door slammed on his right hand. So the door crushed his right hand, and this injury had a direct cost of $67,003, an indirect cost of $73,703, and a total of $140,706. The last one, number 6, was a sprain. And what occurred on this one was an employee was filing documents. He was carrying a stack of folders, tripped over a chair leg, and sprained his ankle. This injury had a direct cost of $60,974 and an indirect cost of $67,070 and a total of $128,044. Slip, trip, and falls. That's a pretty common one in just about any industry. But showing the cost of that shows an importance of getting corrective actions and try to prevent reoccurrence. Because we had several situations with near misses that could have resulted in injuries with slip, trips, and falls. The direct and indirect cost of our top 5 near misses. So we had falls, a possible amputation, mobile equipment, multiple physical injuries, and culture. So with the fall, there was an employee working on the roof, wasn't tied off, slipped and fell, and was dangling until someone got up there and helped them. That could have had a direct cost of $54,856, an indirect cost of $60,341, and that could have totaled out to $115,197. Amputation. There was an employee on a lawnmower that reached his hand underneath a lawnmower while the blades were operating. And that could have had a direct cost of $192,002, an indirect cost of $206, a total of $403,212. And the third one, mobile equipment, where an employee was almost ran over because of the equipment operator was on a cell phone. Could have had a direct cost of $67,003, an indirect cost of $73,703, and a total cost of $140,706. The next one we had was multiple physical injuries. That could have had a direct cost of $122,678 and an indirect cost of $134,945, and could have totaled to $257,623. And then the last one, culture. We had a lot of culture near miss reportings, and the culture could have came out to a direct cost of $54,571, an indirect cost of $60,028, and totaled out to $114,599. And this was using OSHA's website for direct and indirect cost. The direct and indirect cost summary with the recordable total coming out to $871,954, and the top 5 near misses, staggering over $1 million. If you add those top 5 near misses, you add an additional $159,383. With the question that was asked, is there a need for a safety person? And I think the safety person for this facility could definitely limit the direct and indirect cost to this airport. Whether that's limiting the amount of injuries and even correcting these near misses, doing corrective actions, and I think it would save the company a lot of money by having a safety professional at the facility. Buy or work for this company, My final answer was yes. I could see why an investor would be a little hesitant with investing their money into it, but I would definitely work for this company. I think a lot of these near misses and incidents can be turned around, and I think that starts with impacting the safety culture around the facility. I think it's important to do corrective actions and do those, immediately if there's a good solution to them, because a lot of these near misses were repeated ones. So I think it could be turned around to make an investor want to invest their money. But my final answer on it was yes. So the OSHA 300 log, um, what I kind of found wrong that needs corrected with these um, was the type and font on the employee's name, title, and location and the type of injury for number 6. So it was different than the rest of the 5, and that kind of stuck out to me immediately on that one. And then part F also stuck out to me. Um, I think it was lacking some details there. And then the page totals, I didn't have the days away from work um, totaled at the bottom there that you can see circled. And they were also missing the on-the-job transfer or restriction days for case number 3. OSHA log 300A, they were missing their uh, SIC and NAICS numbers, and they were also missing the signatures needed at the bottom. For Emily Zircon, I just found a couple typos in her descriptions, looking through them. So those are what's noted there. Zone, there were a couple more typos on there. I don't know if it's that great a deal, but with documents like this, I feel like they need to be, checked thoroughly before being submitted. And the wellness program, we did overweight and obese. So 64% of the workforce is overweight or obese. Overweight and obesity issues could lead to other problems and underlying issues and concerns. Program goals I had was to assist the employees in living healthier lives, even outside the workplace, and reach and stay consistent with healthy weights. What is the program? And what does it involve? So my plan was to lower the cost for healthier food options. I know healthier food options can be expensive at grocery stores, so maybe at the airport, lowering the cost of those healthier foods could help out some of these employees here. Also having a gym available and just having resources for them to reach out to and seek help if they are looking for it. What do the employees do? They save money by buying healthier foods at lower cost. They have access to the free gym that would be at the facility. Attend workout classes and even have a health break where they have time to use that gym. And then just making sure that they're using the resources given to them. Like any facility, they got to have the resources to succeed. How do I get the message out? So I would use safety talks, postings around the facility, and having management being proactive. And then also having an incentive for employees that would want to sign up for something like that. And by having a health loss incentive, trying to find some sort of prize for them for losing weight. And the rewards that they would get from that is a healthier workforce, a boosted morale, and an energized and focused workforce. And measuring the results through the wellness program. For employees that wish to participate, we could have monthly weigh-ins for the incentive program, health surveys, and doing yearly physicals, so they're able to see how healthy they are from a doctor. So any questions? I'd love to try my best to answer them. Feel like I have a lot to learn from you guys, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.